What's up, everybody? I am back with another video. In this one, I am ranking my top 10 sportswear manufacturers in 2025. And I apologize for the lack of posts recently. I've been on the road a lot. I was in Iceland for 2 weeks just on a vacation. And then I just got back from London. I was there for a week, meeting up with some clubs and just getting some work done there. But yeah, I'm locking back in 3 videos a week. We'll make it happen, but we have a good one here today. Let's get into it. So the criteria for my rankings are, first of all, it's only football or soccer. So we're only looking at the kits, and we're also looking at how many clubs each brand has in Europe's top 7 leagues, which is the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, and the Primeira Liga in Portugal. And we're looking at their work from the 2024 to 2025 season, so pretty much everything they did last year and all their major projects from that season. Let's get into it. At number 10, we have JerseyBird. Of course, I can't make the video without including our brand. You know, realistically, are we top 10 sportswear brand in the world? No, just being honest, we are not yet. But yeah, throwing us in at number 10. So we have 0 clubs in Europe's top 7 leagues at the moment. We actually only have 3 professional contracts that are active, and that is Al Qabila in the UAE, Cuenca Juniors in Ecuador, and the newly signed Walton and Hersham FC out in London. So obviously we're very small, but I would say our strengths are definitely grassroots, high customization, low quantity type of projects. One thing we probably can beat all the other brands on this list on is customization at a low level because, yeah, we're still very small, so we can do it. Yeah, weaknesses, no major pro clubs, no international distribution centers, overall very weak supply chain. Yeah, those are things that should come with time. But yeah, number 10 on the list, we'll take it. Let's move on. At 9, I have Hummel. So Hummel is a German brand originally, but has actually gotten pretty popular in the US. They have 6 pro clubs across Europe's major leagues, including 3 in La Liga and 1 in the Bundesliga, along with 1 in Ligue 1 and 1 in the Primeira Liga, along with a national team roster of the Bahamas, Greenland, Lithuania, and Denmark. So my thoughts on Hummel are they are pretty creative. You see a lot of custom kits coming from Hummel, but the reason I have them at 9, I don't think they're technically as developed as some of the other top brands, but I do think they are improving. For example, the Greenland home shirt, if you look at this one, custom fabric, things like that are not easy to do. So, you know, if they're working on stuff like that, they're definitely, you know, coming out with some really nice kits. And they're very, very dominant in the US. They have 9 of the 24 USL championship clubs, which is our top league aside from the MLS. And they have 10 of the 14 USL League 1 clubs, which is basically like tier 2 in the USL. So yeah, they have a strong base for sure. Coming in at number 8, we have Joma. In total, they have 8 professional clubs across the top leagues, including 3 in La Liga, 1 in the Bundesliga, 3 in Serie A, and 1 in Ligue 1, with a national team roster of Romania, Cuba, Honduras, and the Vatican. So that's an interesting one. My thoughts on Joma, I've never heard anything bad. They are not very popular at all in the US, so they're relatively quiet, but I just don't know enough about them to rank them higher. But one thing I did see was a recent project from RSC Anderlecht in the Belgian Pro League, and the quality and detail kind of blew me away. It is a very, very big club, very famous club in Belgium, but you know, this just shows that they are capable of some serious kits. And I was definitely impressed once I saw the detail, like even down to the shorts. Very, very, very good project from them. So Joma at 9. Also, their most notable recent project is definitely their signing with Brentford. So they will be back in the Premier League for the first time since the 2017 season. So yeah, they're still fighting hard in Europe and definitely have their place in the market. Coming in at number 7, I have Castore or Castore. This one might be a little bit controversial, but you have to respect what they've done. Founded in 2015, reached the Premier League in 6 years, I believe. It's actually insane to grow that quick. They have 7 total professional clubs across the top leagues, including Everton in the Premier League, 2 in La Liga, 1 in the Bundesliga, Leverkusen, which went on a crazy run last year, and 3 in the Eredivisie. And their only national football team at the moment is Ireland. So, you know, one team, but it is a good one. And like I said, I know they got some hate. They've had some quality issues issues in the past, but for a company that grows that fast, to me, it's just growing pains. I'm really not worried about them. I think they'll do great, and they're poised to kind of take over that UK market. I think they want to be the Nike of the UK, and I think they're well on their way to doing it because their apparel off the pitch is extremely technical, extremely well made, and if we were just looking at apparel, I would have them top 5 on this list. I feel like that's their real special strong suit is their apparel, and I think that's why they're so dangerous, and that's why they're growing so quick. And their most notable project in recent times would definitely be their big partnership with Everton. They are a founding member of the new stadium. Not sure exactly what that means, but I'm guessing you'll see their logo a lot in that new stadium, and they'll probably be there for a very long time. So yeah, they're here to stay, especially in the Premier League, and I think they have a bright future. At 6, I have Macron. They have 9 pro clubs in total across the top leagues, including 1 in the Premier League, 2 in La Liga, 2 in Serie A, 2 in Ligue 1, 1 in the Eredivisie, and 1 in the Primera Liga. So they're very spread out across Europe. They have a lot of different bases, and they have a national team roster with Albania, Bulgaria, Comoros, Equatorial Guinea, Armenia, Georgia, and Slovakia. So a solid roster there. And when I think of Macron, I think of speed, efficiency, and a very elite brand for grassroots clubs. Macron's like one of my biggest inspirations as far as how to handle the logistics of getting an order from start to finish at a grassroots club. I think my criticism of Macron would be, my perception is they are template heavy, I think at the low to mid levels, but you can't really knock them. Almost everybody is. I think their speed and their systems are second to none. So, they're definitely someone for us to study. Notable recent work, probably their Crystal Palace project. There's their top project, and I think they did a great job. I love the home kit. The eagle pattern seems to be received very well by the fan base, so they executed well on that very big project. So yeah, Macron at 6. Coming in at 5, I have Umbro. So now we're kind of stepping it up a level. When I think Umbro, I think very, very high quality, very old brand, old English brand. They have 6 pro clubs across the top leagues. So not a lot of top pro clubs, but 4 of them in the Premier League. So they're locked in England. That seems to be their focus, and they're doing quite well. So 4 in the Premier League, none in the other leagues except for 2 in the Primera Liga in Portugal. So kind of an interesting spread there. 3 national teams at the moment: Guatemala, El Salvador, and Lesotho. And when I think of Umbro, like I said, I think quality. Every time you see Umbro, especially those kits from like the 2000s or the 90s, like they were crushing it back then. All those kits are classic. So a little bit different from our brand, but still plenty to learn from them. And you do have to mention they do have the Rangers in the Scottish Premiership, which is another massive club. So a lot of notable things going on, heavy in the Premier League. That's Umbro. Umbro at 5. Coming in at number 4, I have Puma. They have 21 pro clubs across the top leagues, including 2 in the Premier League, 3 in La Liga, 6 in the Bundesliga, 2 in Serie A, 4 in Ligue 1, 1 in the Eredivisie, and 3 in the Primera Liga. So they have the most pro clubs on the list so far, and they have 16 national teams on their roster, including Portugal, Switzerland, Malaysia, Austria, Iceland, the Czech Republic, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Morocco, Egypt, Paraguay, the Philippines, which they took from us, and Malaysia, New Zealand, and Bahrain. Crazy. They have 16 national teams and they had to take our only one. So I have a personal beef with Puma. That's just me. But small personal beef. Nah, I'm just kidding. But anyways, they have 16. It's a bit greedy, right? But yeah, obviously Puma, we're getting into the top 3, the consensus top 3, Puma, Nike, Adidas. But yeah, I have them at 4. Their most notable project has to be Man City. They just signed a £1 billion deal over 10 years. It's a record for the kit manufacturing industry, highest contract ever. And somehow they still managed to drop one of the worst third kits of all time. So yeah, maybe I have a slight personal bias against them, but no, I love Puma. Puma's great, and they're very inspiring. Anyways, moving on to my top 3. I have Kappa coming in at 3. Kappa just has an aura that you can't match anywhere else. They're not as commercial as the big 3. So Nike, Puma, Adidas, they're very, very big companies. They're very corporate. And that's just how it is when you get that big. Kappa has maintained their aesthetic in a way that no one else has been able to match. They're not as big as these other companies, and they never will be, but they're special in that regard. So they only have 6 pro clubs across the top leagues, 1 in La Liga, 3 in Serie A, 1 in Ligue 1, Spain, and 1 in the Primera Liga, and only 2 national teams, Oman and Tunisia, and they're really not even their best work. So it seems like they're not very focused on national teams. But yeah, my thoughts on Kappa: unmatched aesthetic, as I mentioned. They're less commercial, which is what I like about them. They focus on the fashion, they focus on the look, and that creates a special vibe for them. They don't have any very notable projects going on at the moment, but their 3-year run with Venezia from 2021 to 2024 is one of the best runs of any manufacturer ever. That's what originally put me on to Kappa. That's why I fell in love with the brand. And then Nocta, Nike's Nocta. Of all brands to take over, Nocta took over, but Nocta seems to be doing pretty well, picking up where they left off. But yeah, that run was crazy. Okay, now my number 2 is Adidas. They have 21 pro clubs across the top leagues, 7 in the Premier League, 1 in La Liga, but it's Real Madrid, 2 in the Bundesliga, again, one of them is Bayern Munich, 3 in Serie A, 3 in Ligue 1, 2 in the Eredivisie, and 3 in the Primera Liga, along with 9 of the biggest national teams on the planet, with Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Peru, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Sweden. Notable projects, obviously it's just too many to name, but some bad news: they did lose Germany to Nike coming up in 2027, which was very, very odd betrayal. But, money talks. This industry is who can pay the most. And, I do feel bad for them, but, it is what it is. When I think Adidas, I think classic, I think tradition, I think insane quality. They are just across the board very, very advanced. And I think they will be in the top 2 for, my lifetime. Which leaves my number 1, which you can probably already guess, is Nike. They have 18 professional clubs across the top leagues, 4 in the Premier League, 3 in La Liga, 3 in the Bundesliga, 1 in Serie A, 4 in Ligue 1, 2 in the Eredivisie, and 1 in the Primera Liga. And some of these clubs are the biggest in their respective leagues, along with 13 national teams on their roster, with Qatar, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, France, Croatia, England, Netherlands, South Korea, Canada, Portugal, Australia, the United States, and soon to be Germany, as I mentioned. My thoughts on Nike: it's Nike. There's not too much to say. The reason they're my number 1 is because, in my opinion, they are the most technically advanced company. I think they lead the way with innovation, new materials, and on top of that, I think they're the least template-focused company. They rely the least on templates. So a lot of their kits are different structurally. That is my one critique of Adidas. It's not even really critique. Their template, every 2 years, I think they drop a new one. The current one is very, very good. It looks awesome. It can apply to pretty much every single club, and it looks great. But from an operational standpoint, Nike is superior because they are coming out with more different kits, different structures, different panels and sewing patterns. And that's why they're my number 1. They are just the most advanced manufacturer. Even getting into the shoes, you can tell their shoes are just on another level with what they're releasing. They're not as classic as Adidas, and I might be a little bit biased as an American. I see Nike probably more growing up, but to me, their brand image is just second to none. It's next level. So yeah, those are my top 10 sportswear manufacturers of 2025. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what I got right, what you think I got wrong. And of course, we're trying to climb the ladder. Hopefully we can crack into the top 10 for real very soon. And as always, if your club is looking for new kits or apparel, start a project with us. We will do our best to make the best custom gear for your program. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support. Like I said, I'm locking in. I will be posting a lot more on the channel coming soon. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.